The time has come for me to movie review for my life. Bring in my girls. The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, released in 1994 and is directed by Stephen Elliott, who is behind such films like Welcome to Whoop Whoop, Eye of the Beholder, Easy Virtue, and A Few Best Men. And this movie is starring Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Terence Stamp.
Kneel before Zod.
And that is all the attempts of an Australian accent that I'm gonna make in this film because I am terrible at it. To me, an Australian accent is to British accents what a Boston accent is to American accents. Oh yeah, harder. And I'm brushing off my Rachel Dawes wig from my Batman Begins Abridged movie review. I figure I'm probably not going to get another chance to wear it again unless I do another abridged movie review later on down the line, but this film is about drag and drag culture, and I like drag culture, so in order to represent it properly, I thought I would put this on. And this is all I'm going to put on because I've done drag before, and I make a very ugly woman. And if you don't believe me, here you go. And the reason why we are covering The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, is because it was a PayPal recommendation from one of my biggest supporters on this channel who keeps supporting month after month or a couple of months here and there, Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle. Thank you so much for your patronage, for your support. You guys are amazing. You're terrific. You've always been there for this channel. Once it hit a certain stage, you two have always been there. If any of you want to be like Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle and help support this channel and help it grow into something bigger than what it's been in the last couple of years, you can make a PayPal donation by clicking on the donate button on the main page of my YouTube channel. It's in the banner. Just click on the donate button. Any size donation will do, and if you really want me to review a movie of yours that you really want me to see, you can leave your movie recommendation with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a shout out here in the channel and get it done as quickly as possible. Tick, played by Hugo Weaving, is a drag performer by the name of Mitzi Del Bra, who mainly performs out of Sydney, Australia. But one day he gets an offer to perform his drag act at the Lassiter Hotel Casino Resort, managed by his estranged wife Marion, in Alice Springs. So if you don't know, Sydney, Australia is like on the far right side of the country, and Alice Springs is like right dead set in the middle of it, all surrounded by a bunch of desert. So Tick enlists the helps of his fellow drag partners, Bernadette, played by Terence Stamp, and Adam, who also goes by Felicia Jolly Goodfellow, played by Guy Pearce. And the film is a fun little adventure watching these three drag queens showcase their lifestyle in a bunch of small towns in Australia that really don't take kindly to the idea of drag in their town. So I've been to a drag show before, and I actually had a really good time. I actually love watching RuPaul's Drag Race. I wish that show would come back, or I would get access to more seasons. And I remember leaving that drag show very confused as to just my life and life choices, because I identify myself as a straight man, but there are also some very, very, very gorgeous women up on that stage, but I know that they have penises, and my mind was very confused. I'm like, oh my god, you're stunning, you're so attractive, but I also don't float that way. Maybe I do, who knows? It was a really fun time though. This film released in 1994. Again, I was a very small child and I had no really concept of what sexuality was back then, but I also lived in a household where anything homosexual or anything resembling something controversial like this would have been outlawed, and I would have had my ass beaten if I would have done something like this. This is the early 1990s, where the AIDS virus was a big epidemic, and people were freaking out. Oh, if I hang out with a homosexual, am I going to get the disease? Ooh, back away. And you would see hate crime after hate crime after hate crime of some insecure white straight dude beating up on a homosexual male or on someone in drag because they just don't understand and it's not their lifestyle, so therefore I need to beat you up. And that's what was going on at the time in Sydney when this movie was released. You had hate groups going around finding drag queens and beating them up. And this film showcases the fear of doing that. But it also showcases the need and the want to go exploring and the need to want to express yourself and to spread that love and that joy that you have for yourself and who you are to other people. So why not put three queens in this big old trailer and have them read each other for the entire trip through a desert to this small little podunk town. And plus you get three very, I guess after 1994 would become very bravado and very masculine and very tough guy performing actors, and put them on screen wearing gowns and wigs and makeup. And I think all three of these guys deserve a round of applause, a standing ovation. They handle this culture with so much respect. In Hollywood, in film, in the 80s and in the 90s, if someone was portraying a homosexual character, it was usually done as a stick, or someone was making fun of it, or it was used as satire. Here you have three men who, from what I know, are straight in real life, handling these roles with such class and respect for who these characters are as people, and for the culture and the lifestyle that they represent. Hugo Weaving, he's Agent Smith, he's the Red Skull, he's Elrond for Christ's sakes. Guy Pearce, who is a huge action star, usually on the villain side of things. And Terrence Stamp, who is fucking Zod. To have him not only do drag, but also portray someone who is transsexual. Really, I think this film is a masterclass of what the idea of acting is. When you act, you are showing empathy, you are showing respect to that character's life and who they are. You may not necessarily agree with their lifestyle and not actually do their lifestyle in your own life. It's showing empathy and it's taking their personality and you transforming yourself into that personality on screen. I'm actually very curious from the drag community, if any of you watch my reviews on here and you stumble across this one, how do you feel about these three straight men portraying these drag queens in this film? Are you offended by that? Do you wish that it was actual drag queens who were in these roles? Would that have represented your culture more? Or do you think that these three actors did a really good job? Personally, I think they do a really good job, but I'm coming from the straight white male privilege side, so what do I know? I love the story that we get here, the characters that they meet along the way. Bob, who becomes a big sweetheart. He portrays himself as being this big, redneck, tough guy, man's man type person. But come to find out, he's this big, jolly teddy bear who really loves this culture. This film had a huge impact on Australia and the drag community out there. There's this small little town that they stop off on the way to do a small little performance, and that's where they get all the graffiti painted onto their truck that I will not repeat on this channel. But ever since this film is released, that town has embraced this film and has embraced that culture to where they have a big drag festival at one point in the year. I love it when art affects actual human society. That's when you can tell art is a very powerful thing. What I don't understand though is why you would put yourself through the heat and the torment of wearing this wig, because my god, I'm sweating like crazy, and I haven't even tucked my penis up and put duct tape on it. My god, I really enjoyed this film. I think there's a lot of class, there's a lot of fun humor in here, but there's also really strong, beautiful relationships that are developed. Yes, these three people, they read each other the entire time. In other words, they insult each other or bust each other's chops the entire time. But when one of them is assaulted by a group of drag haters, you see that there is a strong relationship and they are there for each other when they need them. This film is a huge recommendation from me. I know this film didn't do that well at the box office. Again, this was 1994, but really I think it has this huge cult following, and if you haven't heard of this film or if you've never seen it, please go and watch this. I watched it when it was on Tubi, and it was actually a little frustrating because I got halfway through and then I was tired and I went to bed. I was going to finish it the next day. However, that next day was the 1st of June and it was taken off of Tubi. And I'm like, son of a bitch. You can be positive about streaming services and online platforms all you want, but in the end, it's physical media that comes to the rescue. Streaming services 0, physical media 100 bazillion trillion points. I'm gonna give The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos, where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next. And our next review falls on July 2nd, and I thought for the month of July I would just be doing recommendations from everyone that I have received over the last several years. Any PayPal donations that have come in are all going to be crammed into that month as best as I possibly can. So selecting randomly from the list of all my recommendations, let's take a look. Alien! Oh, a classic Ridley Scott film that actually I've only seen once, now that I'm thinking about it. I know it's a classic, and I've seen the monster, the xenomorph, so many different times. Toys, advertising, posters, things like that, but the actual movie itself, I think I've only seen one time. But it's a sci-fi classic that I think needs to be in everyone's watch folder, so we'll check it out next time. If you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do, just attach your movie recommendation with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, if you've seen The Adventures of Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Alien. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.